Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors Community. I'm your host, Nico, and joining with me today, as always, my co-host, Chris. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad. How are you?
Good. Not too bad. We're here to talk about the new comic books that came out for the week of November 22nd. This episode, as always, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. This is our weekly comic book review show where we go through the books that we read every week. We give you our thoughts on them. Hit you with some ratings for these books as well. By the end of the show, we tell you what our favorite thing is that we read this week. Always a lot of fun. We show off some of the comic book art. So yeah, just make sure that spoiler warning for anybody, because since these are the new comic books that have come out this week, if you have not read your books and you're afraid to get spoiled, just be forewarned. You can always read them and come back. Check out our playlist. Over 100 episodes at this point. At episode 104, as I mentioned at the top of the show here. So yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, no end in sight, Chris.
When the barrel rolling along.
That's right. So make sure to tune in, guys. As I mentioned too, and I've been plugging an upcoming episode, our our comic shop talk awards here at the end of the year. We will be highlighting some of our favorite things and not so favorite things we read this past year. So make sure to tune in for that. That'll fall in between Christmas and New Year's while we're off that 1 week, but there will be still a new show as that one comes out. And yeah, I got to start prepping for that soon. I know I keep telling you I'm going to send you something, Chris, one of these days.
Don't worry. Play it
Yeah,
by
you're
ear.
like, he's like, I got enough going on. Don't send me anything. All right, guys, let's get into it without further ado, though. Chris,
All right, let's talk comics. Cheers.
cheers. No beer on hand, but I got the whiskey. Oh,
Whiskey on ice. Oh,
yeah. Wonder Woman #3, guys. First up on the docket here today.
ooh-wee.
This was a highly anticipated issue by our man Chris here. Chris, why don't you let the folks at home tell them what you thought of this issue?
I thought this issue was great. The freaking art here is great. The story's cooking inside. Look, way to start the comic. Like even just that guy there behind the counter. If Wonder Woman showed up like that to me and I was behind the counter, I'd be freaking awestruck too. You know what I mean? Like, he's there doing a crossword puzzle, whatever. Even in the crossword puzzle is all the letters of the answers that he's filled out. They're all names of artists and things like that. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the storyline with the Sovereign. Trying to. I can see where it's going. They're trying to get that soldier to kill himself and make it look like that it's Wonder Woman's doing. But just the Wonder Woman parts of this story, just great all around. There's like 3 or 4 pages that like are just worthy of like. If there's only one, like that first page was enough for the book, and then there's like 2 or more pages in here that are awesome. And I just like seeing Wonder Woman being on the offensive, and like she's just really flexing here too. She's not kind of taking any guff from anybody here, and I just thought this whole issue was great. If this was the only comic I could read all week, I would have read it 2 or 3 times for sure. I actually did read it twice.
There you go. There you have it. No, I'm loving it too, man. I really think it's a great new fresh take on the character, and I think his characterization of Wonder Woman is really spot on. Like he has a good version of Wonder Woman, Tom King, I feel like. And Daniel St. Pierre, who I think this is, I feel like, the best work I've ever seen him do. So he's really bringing his A game to this book, because I know he figures probably it's a big deal book, with Tom King. Maybe that's why, because I gotta say, I've seen this guy's work before, and I don't think it's ever stood out like it has been in this title so far. He's been doing a great fucking job. Even like the panel layout, and
Right,
he's
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it. He does a very striking, good looking Wonder Woman without making her cheesecakey in a way.
Yeah.
Either, like, I mean, sure, but like not to the point where I feel like other artists, could go there with her and maybe make her look a bit more cheesecakey. But yeah, just the nice long legs, like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
she
Like
looks
there's like that.
powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she looks awesome. And my favorite panel of the week here has got to be this one coming up with the invisible plane, where she's up against Sergeant Steele here, and
Yeah.
they're fucking having some words with one another,
At
and
the
sh- and
tech
she re-
there. Boom.
and she reveals the fucking plane is literally outside his window the whole time. That was awesome,
Yeah,
man. So yeah, again, like if we had a best of the week in panels, I think this would take it for me this week.
easy,
Was
yeah.
just this double page spread reveal of the invisible plane, right? So I'm glad too, like they're kind of tapping into some of the old school Wonder Woman kind of things too, and by acknowledging that, right? Like because I feel like it's been a while since it's not like, I don't want them to overuse it, but like it's pretty cool that they're like, oh yeah, we haven't forgotten about that. Here it is, right? Like I thought that was pretty neat too. So yeah, great stuff, man.
The
I'm
only
like
thing I
I'm like
didn't like about this comic was that running commentary that got a little bit too wordy at times, and it didn't lead to anything like that wowed me at the end. That's like my only takeaway from this.
the one between her and Sergeant Steele, or the one with the
No,
army
like
guys.
kind of like whatever's up in those little boxes there, where you don't really know who's talking. The narration, I guess.
I think one of them is supposed to be that King guy, if I'm not mistaken, because we were listening to his narration. I believe that was him in the other issue. You know how like at the end of that first issue where they revealed him?
Yeah.
The narration, I believe, was him throughout that. So like it is kind of him. I think the narration, I think, might still be attributed to him. I agree with you. It was a bit wordy. I get where they're going with it. I get the whole thing about like the demasculation, like that was going on, where the guy was trying to convince the army guy, like he was telling him one story, then he made him grip like the rope, and he admitted, he's like, no, he's like, you were emasculated, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like you were men, right? Like, yeah, like I get it. I mean, they're commenting on the whole toxic masculinity kind of bullshit. Like I get it. I get what they're doing. And I like some of the themes floating through here. Like I said, I feel like some people might be uncomfortable if they read this, maybe hit on some points. Maybe that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like maybe ring true to some folks. But I really like this other storyline going on too, with the whole thing about Emily or Amelie or whatever, the one with this other woman. Apparently she's pregnant. It's revealed at the end of this. She was with child, I guess, when she killed all those men. Apparently, at least that's what they're saying here at the end of this issue, right? So I don't know what that's all about. I guess we'll see, right? But interesting stuff, right? So and yeah, even the backup was kind of fun in this. The backup was listen, I get for you, I know it maybe was a little cheesy, like I it definitely had like a bit more of a vibe of like an all ages type of like comic for sure, but I did like it. I did appreciate it. I did like the scene where they were swearing in front of Trinity, and then she starts swearing, and then like they're like, no, that's the grown-up word, don't say that. Like your mother's gonna kill me, right? So although I don't know who are they saying that child is with Wonder Woman, and who, right? Is it Superman? Is it Batman? Whose child is that, right?
I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of very interesting that they're all there in the mix, the new Trinity per se, but like they're hinting, it seems like, at whether or not like who the father is. We're just not too sure at this point, right? But I do like the introduction of this character, the Trinity character, and I think he's going to be continuing to do like his world finest backup, like with these characters, I think Tom King said. And I do like it's him writing the backups as well. So like, I guess these are going to be, you might see her age, I think, in these stories or something like that. From what I heard of Tom King mention about this. Yeah, great book. Yeah, it's been really enjoyable. So all around. What'd you give this?
I flirted with a 5, but that narration killed it. Take some points off for that. So 4.5.
Wow. I'm going to go 4.25 on this one. Yeah, I agree with you. It was a bit wordy at times for me as well, this go around, but great book. Great book. Next up, we got Jason Aaron's DC debut with Batman Offworld #1. And I know Chris was groaning about the announcement of this because it's another Bat book, but I was quite excited about this only because, I'm happy to see that Jason Aaron, like is finally over at DC. He's been at Marvel for my entire time getting back into comics. And I guess we'll see how it goes, because not all writers make that transition as easily as you would think. You would think it's easy because this is all superhero comics. I just feel some writers have a better voice for one company's characters than they do for others, right? So I mean, we'll see. What do you think of this issue, Chris?
Well, I didn't buy this. I just read this online. Just kind of see what's going on in there. I'm still not sure what's going on in this story, like where Batman takes off to space or whatever, because there's some, I don't know, I guess whatever the enemy or the villain is, someone that he hasn't, I don't know, faced before. So he's going there to get information, and he ends up being like a freaking mop boy on this planet. I don't know. And he's still wearing his cowl there somehow. I don't know. It's a fun read, I guess, but I don't know. Like I say, I don't think this rings true for Batman.
I think that's the thing about it, though. And I'm with you. No, I totally agree with you. I didn't love this, by the way. I was really excited for it. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay. The Doug Monkey art I thought was strong. Um, this is basically a fish out of water type thing, putting Batman in space. I don't feel like we see that all too often. But then at the end of the day, I don't exactly get the point of what he was going for in this for what Batman's trying to achieve up there. Like, to your point, I think like it was something about him just trying to get like stronger by testing himself because apparently he's run into this alien on Earth
Yeah.
previously, they revealed, and then now he faced off against him and he took him out in like 2 seconds, and now he's like in a jail cell in space with some other alien chick that he met that's a Tamaranian, which is like Starfire, right?
Yeah.
So you know, there could be some very interesting fun things to be had here. Like, it is definitely it's piqued my interest, but would I say this was a great debut issue for a miniseries? No, it wasn't that strong. Again, I just wasn't clear on the point of him doing this other than like him testing himself because he's Batman, right? That's the only thing I got out of this was just like, and it seems weird. So while I agree with you, like it maybe doesn't ring true, it is a different type of Batman story. Clearly, he's trying to go for here, right? But I don't know. I just hope that his voice for these characters translates well for DC, because I know he's also a big DC fan, Jason Aaron, and I feel like Batman is a slam dunk of like, you should fucking, you know, if you get Batman as your first assignment coming over to DC Comics, you got to do a good fucking Batman story. So like, I don't know, I get this is like a specific type of miniseries with the whole space theme, but I don't know. We'll see. I still think there's room for it to get better, but yeah, this left me wanting a little bit this first issue, but
Yeah,
yeah,
the
we'll
only
see.
interesting thing is that the Tamaranian,
Tamaranian, yeah.
Tamaranian, yeah. That's the only thing that I found interesting in this. Oh, you know, I'd
Listen,
probably continue to read it, but
yeah.
yeah, it didn't blow my socks off or anything. That's for sure.
No, same here. I wish I could come here and tell you otherwise, because I know you were kind of like, oh, whatever this series. I guess you win this round, Chris. No, you know, like I said, I want to like it a lot more than I did, but it was, I wouldn't say it's bad. It was bad. I just think it was, you know, although where they left him in the position that they left him being in a jail in space could be some interesting stuff going on there. We'll see what happens next issue, but
Yeah,
what'd you give this one?
that's 3.5.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give it a boost of 3.5 because I like the Doug Monkey art. Otherwise, maybe even like 3.25 because the story didn't really wow me this first issue. And that's going to be a 6-issue miniseries, that one. All right, next up, we got Void Rivals number 6. What'd you think of this, Chris?
I know this one's kind of fallen to the slow death. You know, there's not too many more spoilers in there. I think it was living off a lot of the hype for that Energon universe that this was introducing. And or you know, maybe it's just taking a breather here, but you know, I didn't find a big spoiler at the end, and I'm getting tired of this story of, you know, we don't like you, you don't like us, but now they're helping each other, and now they're, I don't know, were they running through like some wasteland or something to escape from the royals that are chasing them? I don't know. It's fallen down. It's high spot, that's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. This I think was definitely a breather of an issue, I'll say, and this is the end of the arc. So like where they left it, I'm still looking forward to where they go with the second story arc of this series, but yeah, this one wasn't as good, obviously, as previous issues, but I just don't think he covered a lot more new ground in this one. And like you said, he's kind of repeating some of the same type of story beats we've already kind of seen. Like the first few issues, it kind of left you on a crazy cliffhanger. There was a cool reveal every issue.
Yeah.
This was kind of just moving the story along, which again, I don't think was a bad issue, but it wasn't that interesting of an issue in this week of comics, let's say. And yeah, I agree with you. This is probably one of the weakest issues of the series so far in that sense, just because it was boring. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just felt like, but I am looking forward to more. I am. I think that he could really do some interesting things within the confines of the Energon universe in this series, depending on how, like, where it goes in the second story arc, right? So, I'm still in. I like Kirkman. I'm still in for the remainder of this series. Hopefully, it keeps me intrigued. But yeah, what'd you give
That
this
was
then?
good. Yeah, I'll give this 3 point. I'll give it 3.5 still. I was flirting with the 3.25 there, but I'll stay with 3.5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5 as well. All right, next up, Chris, you got Catwoman 59. She is
Oh,
in the purple suit in this in some
oh yeah,
scenes.
freaking that's a nice cover there. I did Nakayama. Glad
Yeah.
I got this one. So this is the fallout afterwards of whatever the Gotham War was. So now Catwoman, I guess she's decided to leave Gotham. And for whatever reason, she decides to put on that old suit. I think the first few pages is kind of her, I don't know, talking to Batman. What I don't know, with her and Batman getting together, these panels they have in Catwoman magazine or the Catwoman comics, they just seem brutal. It's like he's almost crying or something when he's leaving. It's like, what the heck is going on here? But then, anyways, once you get out of that stuff, somehow this is tied to that what's his name, Valmont, or I don't know, whoever that guy was with the white suit that was that kind of almost started this gang war, whatever got Catwoman into jail.
Mm.
And her cat, the Duchess, she's over at some wacky island where there's I don't even know what to call the villain in this one here. She's like some queen of this place there, and it's hard to get into. Like she's almost like a gang queen or something like that. And she's got all these people there protecting her, and I don't know. There's a whole bunch of other stuff going on. I guess there's some fallout from those Lazarus Reigns or the Vandal Savage stuff. Is now that Catwoman has actual 9 lives, and she's
Mm.
got some scar on her back where she wastes 2 of them in this issue. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a bad issue. I'm not really explaining it very well, that's for sure, but it was a decent Catwoman issue, and that last page, that'll get you a 0.25 ahead of whatever you're at. But it's nice to have a Catwoman issue on her own again, not being tied up to the Bat family so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it a 3.75.
Okay, not bad. Next up, I got Holy Roller #1, which is the new comic from Rick Remender and two other people. So previously, I only said Andy Samberg, of course, comedian Andy Samberg, but now there's also another co-writer on this, which I guess I wasn't aware of, which is Joe Troman, who is apparently a member from Fall Out Boy, the band, which I'm not a huge fan of. So, Chris, this is a case of too many cooks in the kitchen, my friend. I was really hyped for this because I'm always hyped for new Rick Remender books, but this is kind of a new thing where he's paired with some some other people that are co-writing this, and this is clearly maybe for something that they plan on doing as a film or a show, or maybe with Andy Samberg, because literally I just gotta look up the guy's name again. If you look at the characters, the way that the artist is drawing some of these people, the main character is fucking Andy Samberg in this comic. Like he looks like Andy Samberg. And then there's another fucking character who's his dad in this, and I just was looking up the guy's name. It's this guy Judd Hirsch. Remember this guy, like the taxi guy? He looks as I was reading it, it was fucking distracting. I'm like, oh, this looks like that guy. And then I had to like look it up, and I'm like, yeah, this is fucking him. And then like somebody else, like I seen it when I looked it up, made a reference to that in the review, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And listen, the story's not bad. It's about his father. This is supposed to be him here, but this is when he gets older in the comic. You'll see it looks exactly like the fucking actor now, and it's basically this guy who, back in the day, his father, I guess, bowled at this bowling alley in his town, and the Andy Samberg character used to hang out there. And look, even in this opening scene, they're at the bowling alley, and you see Buddy from fucking that movie with the bowlers, Big Lebowski. You see John Goodman hanging out in the fucking crowd. I'm just like, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I get the joke, right? So, but like, so they open up with that, and then you see that his son, which is basically the Andy Samberg character, was picked on by some bullies of this guy's son that owned the bowling alley, and basically he got embarrassed in front of them, and they said like, yeah, we never want to see you here again. Like, don't fucking show your face around here. And then, you know, Andy Samberg, he's Jewish, I believe, and like the character in this is Jewish. So then I guess because of the times and whatever, I guess the stuff's still relevant today. There's some anti-Semitism shit going on in here where they hate on him, probably because he's Jewish. And then flash forward, he's like a Greenpeace guy or something, and he's fucking a stoner chilling bro guy on a fucking boat. And like he does fuck all. Like he's just like a slacker. And he's hanging out on this boat. He's speaking to the captain. He's smoking like a huge fucking joint. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And then it's just a weird fucking book. And then the dialogue was not all that great. It was very wordy. So I'm questioning if maybe Remender just like steered the ship here and plotted it for these guys and they wrote the script. I don't know. I don't know where the contributions start and end, but I'm like, I will tell you this is not like most Rick Remender comics that I read. And that guy's like percentage of like striking out for me is very, very, very fucking low. Like I usually like everything he does. This is a bad first issue. I removed this from my pull list right away. I think I pre-ordered the first 2, so I think I have 1 more to go. But I'm like, if it gets better, I'll just check out the trade or something. I said to myself, but yeah. But look at this guy. Hold on, I'm trying to look for a panel here now. So he ends up going back to his home and seeing his father. He's never been back home in all these years, but he heard his father was sick, so he went back to visit his father. And yeah, he comes out and greets him and they have a chat. And yeah, see, look at this panel in the right left-hand corner. You can tell it's that fucking guy. And then like it's Andy Samberg with a fucking hat on, but you can tell by his hair it's Andy Samberg. Like, so I'm just like, yeah, that took me out of it. I didn't like that. The story's okay, but then he goes to this bowling alley where he used to hang out and he never has returned to. And his father says about, like, he basically brings up the fact that he still bowls and fucking, he's like, you ruined my childhood with all this bowling and all this shit. So then he goes there and he shows his face. And when you know it, of course, the fucking guy is there from his childhood. And now I guess he owns it because his father owned it. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I thought I told you never to come here again. You haven't showed your face in this town for all these years. And then they go and follow him somewhere, and then he ends up getting assaulted. And this guy busts out the bowling ball out of his bag and then beats the shit out of these fucking guys with the bowling ball. So, and by the end of it, they're just sitting there all bloodied and fucked up, and that's the end of the issue. But apparently, I think moving forward, there's like maybe like some people that he's beating up with the bowling ball, whether or not they're Nazis or not, I don't know. But it's just some shit like that. Like I don't know if this is just his perception because he's Jewish and these guys are black guys. Like I don't know, these guys didn't come off like Nazis to me, but I believe I heard something about he's like a superhero, hence this like costume, which we don't see in this first issue. Like I think he's just a guy that kicks the shit out of people with a bowling ball, and there might be some Nazi plot to it. So, you know, when I heard that, I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. But like, this was not a good fucking issue. Like the dialogue was off. The art was fine. I don't love Roland Boshi, the artist on this though. Yeah, this is him, Andy Samberg at the end, all bloodied up with fucking basically murdering a bunch of people with a bowling ball. So I don't know. It was just a mess. It was no rhyme or reason. The wild fucking things happening in the story. I don't know why these things are happening half the time. Like it wasn't very. I hope I did it justice by trying to explain the book to you, but it was very like I'm not even clear by the end of the first issue, like what exactly is the idea behind this, other than this is a guy that got bullied and then he fucking went back to his hometown and beat the shit out of everybody with a bowling ball. That's all I got from this. Anyways, 3, maybe 2.75. I didn't like it. Yeah, 2.75 maybe. Yeah. Anyways, so I you know what? I think that there is like a story here and there is a message possibly that they're trying to say with this story, but it just wasn't written well enough for me to kind of be like, okay, yeah, I'm in. And I think that might just, like I said, too many cooks in the kitchen. I think you got Andy Samberg, you got a Fallout Boy fucking guy writing this. I don't know.
I think they're freaking throwing their dumb ideas, and freaking Rick Remender's there like you can't say no to everything. He's got to give him something, and then yeah.
I've never seen him collab like this with anybody either. So like this is a really out of left field. Like, I don't know, like, you know, I would never accuse Remender because he seems like he's a guy of like high morals, like at least the way he's gone on here, like even with creator owned stuff. And he just signed all those people to his label recently. Like he seems like a real like good dude. Like I would never accuse him of chasing a check, but like, I don't know what this is. Like, I don't know why he got together with these guys. Like, I think they brought him in. He kind of wrote about it in the letter column in this issue, but then he did it as like a pseudo, like kind of like jokey, kind of like way where he's not actually talking like Rick Remender and the new. I don't know. It was really weird. So, anyways, I didn't dig it. Next up, Black Hammer, the End, number 4. Yeah, this was another decent issue. I've been really liking this The End installment of Black Hammer. Everything's really just coming to a close now after years of Jeff Lemire kind of telling this story. And another solid issue. Not too much to add here about this, honestly, without getting into the whole story. Basically, all these multiversal versions of these characters are coming out of the wood and starting to team up with each other right now. And that's basically what we're seeing in this issue. Like, we got all these different versions of characters from different universes that are kind of representations of the original Black Hammer, like team, essentially. And some of the original people are in here too, and they got to take down this guy that's basically like a dark side type like character, or Galactus or something like that, who's like a world ender, and they barely made it out beating him in the past. And now in this issue, they were also trying to collect the original members that took him out before, but they're off actually living new lives in another fucking world now, like that they've actually found peace in. And they show up, and the daughter of Black Hammer now, because he died to this guy originally in the original fight. So it's just his daughter now, kind of, that's holding the hammer and acting in his place as this kid, as the Black Hammer. She comes and like talks to these people, and that knew her father and died fighting by their side. And they're just like, no, we're not helping you out. We're happy here. Like, don't try to drag us into this. And it kind of, and she's like, you guys are heroes. Like, how could you not want to help out? They're like, because we've been through this, right? Like, they're like, we are just trying to live our lives now. You guys should get that. Like, and they're not even like in that same dimension. Like, it's a multiversal thing now. So like, they're not even in the place where their world is in trouble. Right. So he's just like, I'm just like, they're like, we're out. Like, don't count us in. So I don't know. It was kind of a fucking crazy turn in that sense, but she understood, and as a reader, I feel like you would understand as well. Like, it was really well written. Like, yeah, here's the big guy just destroying shit here. So yeah, so I don't know where it's gonna go. By the end of this issue, though, they did meet up with the bad guy face to face. Finally, it was an alternate version of Black Hammer's father from another universe, who is a bad version of him, essentially. So that's who the big bad is here. 3.75. All right, Chris. Batman Superman World's Finest, number 21. Big issue. Big.
Good stuff. Yeah. Glad I got back on this with what's that? Mark Waid going back to the Kingdom Come world. Yeah. Ooh, that's good stuff in there, you know. And I think the big, I don't know if it's a reveal, but the big reveal there is that that world, whatever is it, I don't know how they number it, the Kingdom Come world, they don't understand of a multiverse yet or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And that, whatever, that boy Thunder, he's a little shit in this world, that's for sure. Like, every time he starts getting trounced there, he's calling for Superman, he's calling for Batman. And, you know, like, they could explain things to each other so easily, but they're just stirring the pot, telling everybody's lying and everything like that. I thought it was a great issue. And, you know, just this world is just so interesting to me to see what's going on. And I don't know, at the end, I don't know if it's Mangog or if it's just Gog now or something. He's up to some big stuff there. He's like a god in that world. Mm-hmm. And I got to see, like, I can only see the only thing happening is, you know, I imagine the Superman and the Superman are going to have to, and Batman and the Batman there are going to have to come to terms together, because they got to set this world straight. But and that boy Thunder, what a little shit. I knew he was a shit right from the beginning, didn't I say so?
You did. You called that one. You called that one. But again, it just sucks, because like Superman continues to get burned by this kid over and over again. Like, even when, like,
he believes.
I know, but even when but like, what was great about this issue too, though, is he lost his cool finally, and Bruce is like, Clark, he's like, you know, like, calm down. He's like, you can't, you can't focus when you're angry like this. And he's like, that little shit, you know. He like finally lost his. Oh, what an issue, man. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I love this. Action packed, great fucking Dan Moore art. Love the alternate universe multiverse type aspect with the Kingdom Come planet here, universe multiverse yeah, awesome stuff. I love this from start to finish. I thought this was a spectacular issue. It was cool seeing another version of Dick here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my one complaint is that it ended so soon because like I flew through this fucking issue and I was like, oh man, I want the next one. Like that's how good this was. I got really hyped up about this issue. I was like, oh, this is great. And yeah, this is the best issue I think it's had in some time. This series, as much as I still love this series, this was a strong issue, and I'm glad because like this was really built up, this whole Kingdom Come storyline, and so even as going as far as like you said, they returned to this fucking character, Boy Thunder or whatever the hell his name is from like 12 issues ago, and yeah. we weren't big fans of that storyline. That's what made you drop the book originally, and then coming back here and actually incorporating him in this great story, like actually, yeah, Mark Waid, he had a plan in mind, right? He had a plan in mind. Yeah. So yeah, I really liked this. So I can't wait for the next one. Good stuff. Yeah, and this, yeah, Dan Mora just fucking killed it this issue too. I mean, he always does a great job, but like when they all showed up there at the end,
yeah, I love
it. Yeah, I don't know about all this Mangog like God shit. I don't know anything about all that stuff, right? Like I don't know. I don't think because you read it more recently than I. That wasn't the case in Kingdom Come, right? Like
no, that wasn't anything there. I guess this is like the world has gone on for I don't know how long. Like they don't really say how far in the future it is since the end of Kingdom Come. So who knows?
Yeah, good stuff. What'd you give this?
Yeah, I was going to give it a 4. It jumped up to a 4.25. It might even jump up to a 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah. It's just good that he was this world that he delivered to.
4.5 out of 5 for me this week. Yeah, it was. I'll just say this. I'm going to jump out ahead a bit. This is in the running for favorite of the week for me. That's how good this issue was. I really enjoyed this one. So, all right, Chris, Sensational She-Hulk #2. I also read this by the way, but
yeah, I have the issue somewhere. I just can't seem to find it right now. But the big deal for me here was Hulk and Hulk showing up in She-Hulk's world. The art here it's good for the story. It really suits the storyline. And I know, but this Hulk is like smelling his own blood or something like that, because that's the whole crux of the story here is that Hulk is trying to track down She-Hulk because he seems to be tracking down something. And then they bring in some characters from the previous She-Hulk series, the ones that tried to steal She-Hulk's power. And, the Hulk just doesn't seem to care about it at all until that other Hulk declares that she's a Hulk while she's fighting She-Hulk. And then, this Hulk goes freaking, he just sees red and he fights away. I don't know why they're so concerned that a building falls on Hulk. But that was a good issue. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. Some good scenes in there. There's a backup story in there too that it was okay. Like nothing great here. If I didn't buy it, I wouldn't be too sad I didn't. I'm happy I do have it. But when they put these two people in the same comic, there's got to get something more epic going on than just a misunderstanding.
I like this. I like the vibe of this. I do like this book. Like it is it's more simple storytelling. I feel like in a good way. I always enjoy reading it. I've been reading this in trade previous to this, but then with them relaunching it at #1, I was like, okay, maybe I'll start reading it in issues online again because I buy the trades of this series. But yeah, like you said, I mean, I'm not disappointed. I'm not buying the physical issues of this, but I liked Hulk in this so much more than I liked Hulk in his actual. So I'll say that much. And then coming out of the same week, it really fucking was very apparent to me that I was like, I don't know. I just dug in more here. I just feel like
he's not tied down by any storyline here. Now he's just here, Hulk. And he's walking away, and someone says, Hulk, I'm Hulk fucking. He's not dumb, but he's not super smart either.
Yeah, and then the backup was the Wyatt Wingfoot story. Of course, this is more like in the line of She-Hulk's Fantastic Four storylines that she would do with the team every now and then because they would, they dated and they were together for a bit, and they were also part of the Fantastic Four. They're like, the ancillary, like the other members of the group, right?
Yeah.
But like, if they're on call essentially, right? Like if they ever need them, they can kind of call on these people, and like, Spider-Man, She-Hulk, Wyatt Wingfoot, like these type of people, right? So yeah, so like I liked the backup as well. I did enjoy it. Blastar was in it, which is again just like very Fantastic Four-ish type story, classic FF type characters. So like I wasn't expecting that in the pages of the She-Hulk book. We get a lot of baloney fucking backups these days, and for them to fucking put a $4.99 price tag on these books, this one was fun, I thought. So like as much as like it had nothing to do with the main storyline, I was like, this is a fine backup story that I enjoyed. So yeah. What'd you give this out of 5?
We got a 3.75. I thought it's pretty decent.
Same. Yeah. Next up, Incredible Hulk number 6, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know about this freaking comic.
Yeah. I'm done with it. I've been reading it online, but I'm still done with it. I don't know. But go ahead.
I don't know. I know what to say. What now? They're whatever. They're hitchhiking across the desert or wherever they are. They get picked up by some family that just happened to have a Ghost Rider bike there kicking around, and I don't know. I don't got much to say. I don't even know who the bad person was. I don't even know why Ghost Rider's in here.
I'll say this: they took entirely too long to give us that fucking last couple of pages with Ghost Rider showing up, which is like a different version of Ghost Rider, like the Soldier Ghost Rider or something. Like, I don't know why they didn't get to that at the start of the issue, but there's always some stupid like buildup of some sort of like Southern horror type shit going on in this book, where it's just like you don't know what's going on. It's unclear half the fucking time. And then you get some baloney, and it's such a waste of that wonderful fucking Nick Klein art.
I know that's killing me.
I mean, if you were like, I'm sticking with this book for the art, I would totally get it. Like his art is fucking unreal. Like really, honestly, like I think he's in the conversations with some of the best artists that we've seen this year when we do our award show. And I don't even like this book. Like, you know what I mean? Like he came off of Thor, another book where when it was written by Donny Cates and he was doing the art, we liked better. When he left, we didn't like the book so much, but like, again, the book looked good. So he's been back-to-back books I do not like, but he is just killing it on the art. And I always hate when that happens because, like, I'm sure there's other people that like this book, but I hate when I read a book and I really love the artist and I'm like, I can't keep picking this up because I hate this story, right?
Yeah.
Because like the art is not the issue here. I really
gotta get him on something good.
Yeah.
They gotta get him and freaking Spider-Man. That's what they gotta do, but
yeah, I'd be okay with that. Yeah. Like, look at this.
Yeah, like that transformation. That's worth the cost of the book there. Like you've never seen Hulk transform like that.
No, I mean, like that part of it, like the body horror stuff they're trying to do in this book is good when this shit happens, but it's just there's like no good storyline, like grounded storyline.
Yeah, there's no reason why all of a sudden he turns into the Hulk. It looks like freaking hell.
Look at that, like awesome. And then this, like, he shreds up his face with the fucking. I was just like, oh man, like the way this comic ended, I would just wish it started that way. Let's say that. I was just like, why did we get through fucking 15 pages of bullshit to get to these last few fucking good pages here where where he rips himself out of that person and then the Ghost Rider rolls up. So it got me a little hyped by the end, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm over this book.
Yeah, it's not worth it though.
No. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, 3.5 for me, and it could be on let's see, I'm gonna do my February pulls pretty soon, so that could be on a chopping block.
I gotta give it a 3.25. I was gonna give it 3.5 for the art, but I can't. I just really dislike the story. So, anyways, next up, Titans number 5, Chris.
Yeah, no, I didn't read this one here. I think it's the beginning of the Beast World, or
oh, you didn't read this one? Okay, no, I did. Oh, okay, my bad. Here, I'll bring it up. Yeah, this was kind of the wrap up of the current storyline for the most part. Not so much this, somewhat of the setup for the Beast World shit, but not to the point where, like, I think they just kind of commented on Beast Boy's powers in this, and like I think that's kind of as far as they went with in terms of the storyline itself, but they didn't really set up the event as of yet. I think that's going to be in the next issue or maybe like a Beast World issue. But they kind of wrapped up like some of the story threads that they've had going so far, like the whole brother blood type thing that's been going on, and the fact that Gar had some sort of alien parasite inside of him. And then like he spat it out and it took over the Flash's wife, and she was being controlled by it. And then the new Swamp Thing showed up, which I forgot was this new guy, like this guy here. Ram V is the guy who wrote that one, and like I don't know what his background is, but he's a new Swamp Thing, and I forgot his name. I never read that series where he was introduced, so yeah, new Swamp Thing. And then he had some good moments of the team kind of coming together and dealing with with these issues. But this is the first issue I think I didn't pick up. I dropped this book. It's not bad. I don't know if I'm gonna continue reading it online going into the Beast World stuff, but it had its moments. It is nice to see, like Starfire busted out some shit here, and they talked about the green, and they talked about how his powers work, how he can basically, turn into a bunch of bugs, because they're trying to he was trying to regrow like this area, and like they're like, oh, we need bug life to actually fertilize, like, you know what I mean, like to actually make this like a place that people can live. And he's like, we need to be able to speed up the process. We got to get like all these insects and stuff in this type of wildlife. And then he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm on top of that. And they talked about like whenever a bug dies or whenever an animal dies that he turns himself into, a little piece of him is taken with it. Like, it was kind of interesting. Like, I never really thought of his powers that way. So I kind of thought that
Beast Boy or Swamp Thing?
Beast Boy. Swamp Thing and him were working together, but Beast Boy turned into like a bunch
of
like
bugs.
Part
of the green now?
Oh, Beast Boy is part of the red, I believe it is. Like the Animal Man is part of the red. So like it's he taps into a different power source. But the thing was, he got him to turn into, like I said, a bunch of insects and different different animals and stuff to kind of like make it make the land you know what I mean, like be able to like actually thrive and actually, you know what I mean, like. And so
yeah.
And so that's what he did in this. And they kind of talked about like if any part of himself, as he turned into like a bunch of insects and stuff, dies, like he loses a bit of his soul, or so, you know what I mean? It's like he's kind of like he loses a bit of himself, and like they're like he kind of puts it out on the line. And they were just kind of like the Starfire, I think, was talking about this with Swamp Thing as he was doing his thing, and or one of the other members, and it was an interesting perspective of his powers and him as a person and everything else. So like, yeah, I think he's got a good voice for these characters. I think he gets them, Tom Taylor. Then you have the brother blood stuff at the end. So there might be one more issue of this storyline. I'm not sure, because the way they ended it, I'm not sure where they're going to go with it, but I think you're right. I think the Beast World stuff's next though. So I gave it a 3.75. I did like some scenes in this issue, but yeah, it's not bad, but it's not amazing either.
Yeah.
Then you got Justice Society of America #7. I'm still liking this story. At the end of the last issue, they like had all of the older sidekicks from back in the day show back up. Like there was another mini series that Jeff Johns was writing at the same time, which was like a not Starfire, what the fuck is her name, Star Girl, called the Lost Children, which was a mini series that he did during the first 6 issues of this series. And it kind of had Stargirl off going on her own mission to basically bring back all like the lost like DC sidekicks from like back in the day, like back from the Justice Society of America's time that were lost in time. So like now they're actually all present in the present timeline essentially again. And I was just like, I don't know how he's going to sort through all this. And at the end of the last issue, it was just like they kind of like they showed Stargirl showing up, because I guess that miniseries had wrapped up with all these people. And she's like, yeah, all these people are back. And there's like all these people reuniting with their sidekicks and all this kind of shit. And Huntress is there. So there's an actual Huntress now in the current timeline. And there's some scenes with her and Batman. And I'm just like, are they going to acknowledge this in the other books? Because like this seems really messy for them just to bring like 30 fucking characters back out of nowhere. And I'm just like, but you know, it seems to be following it through, at least in these books, because this whole issue is kind of focused on that and some other things that were going on, but mostly focused on the integration of these people again with the JSA and obviously some more like time travel type stuff, antics going on here. There's always in this series throughout the first 6 issues. Great art, good story. I'm still enjoying this. I think this is going to be a 12-issue series when it's all said and done. At least that's what they announced it as. But right now they're trying to basically create a new JSA, I guess, for the current day. You know, so then you got some scenes with Mr. Terrific and Power Girl, and they're going around recruiting other people's help in this. And yeah, you got like an Arkham Asylum moment in this, but then you see like there's the Huntress. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on here. Dr. Fate's in this. Oh yeah, and at the end they see a bunch of like I think is it like Bizarro World type people? I don't know. There's like a whole other multiverse of characters that show up here at the end, and I don't know where we're gonna go from here, but we'll see. I give it a 3.75. I'm still enjoying this book.
Nice.
Oh, my bad. All right. All right, next up, you got Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red are number 5. And very quickly, not too much to say on this that I haven't been saying about sick cover, but not too much about new to say about this that I haven't said about every other issue of this. This is an anthology. I'm not huge on anthologies. Every issue usually has about 3 stories. I always really dig one, and the other ones are just okay. And sometimes there's one that's like really bad. Interesting, different artists. I feel like in this book, though, my favorite, as usual, was the first story, which was Bill Quee Evely, who's a really, really good artist, drew this one. And it's kind of like, it takes place more in like medieval times or something like that. And it's kind of like a different take on the whole Harley Joker dynamic. And there's also like a whole thing about witchcraft in it, and by the end of it, basically, I guess they attribute like Harley being like akin to like what people thought witches were back then, and then they were scared of them and they went to hang them, right? Just women, I guess, that were unusual or whatever, right? So, and in her case, very skillful in many ways, right? Because she's Harley Quinn. And then I think there was like a one that was kind of felt more like the animated series type of vibe. It may have even been written by one of the writers from the animated series, and I liked that. I do like the animated series, so the art on this and the vibe of it, felt very much like the cartoon. You watched a bit of that, haven't you?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I like it. And then like the last story was not that great. I like the art on it, but it was kind of like Harley deals with like trolls on social media type story. So I'm like, oh, I'm like, we don't need this. Anyways, I give this a 3.5 because, like I said, there was some decent stories and some good art, but
Are we the trolls?
yeah, that's what I felt like. I was like, what is this shit? All right, Chris. Superman number 8.
Yeah, I didn't buy this one, but I think I'm going to still stick around with Superman. You still got that chained character or whatever he is. It's okay stuff. I'm still got tough believing this Lex Luthor being trying to turn over a new leaf. I'm just waiting for him to freaking turn. And the story's decent. This chain character, you kind of feel bad for him. Like he doesn't want to do anything bad. He just wants to freaking kill Lex Luthor, which he should, But then Superman, of course, being the Boy Scout he is, he goes, hey, even Lex Luthor's under my protection as long as he wants it. So, and there's some stuff there with Lex Luthor, saying Superman wasn't there for him at the time of need, which he shouldn't really be upset about. But story wise, it's moving along okay. It's a pretty decent story. The art is great. So there's really not much to say about it, but I should like it more. But I don't.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's not wowing me, and I might stop reading it. There's nothing necessarily bad about it. It's a fine story. I just think it's just getting lost in the mix, I think, of most other books right now for me. And
yeah,
I'm not
wasn't there a
huge...
story a while ago with Superman freaking like he's not allergic to kryptonite anymore because he's got all that power from the war world? that seemed to all disappear.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's what'd you give this then?
yeah, it's 3.5.
Yeah, yeah, 3.5. Nightwing 108, Chris.
Yep,
The
still
issue
getting this one
here.
here. I got it floating around somewhere. Not a bad story. Still, I got a variant cover here. I think I got a Dan
Oh,
Morrison.
take a look at this. Oh,
He's
very
still
cool.
on. He's still on the
Yeah.
pirate ship. Better than that A cover. That A cover was nothing. What the hell is that kind of A cover? But otherwise, story wise, I guess it's going to some history there with Nightwing and whoever the queen or the captain of the pirates is, and there's some, I guess, some power plays going on in here and some betrayals. But yeah, this whole pirate storyline isn't really selling it for me. They go find this pirate city that's freaking super awesome, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll be happy when this arc ends, and I'll still read it online, but I think this is on the chopping block too. Unless something picks up. But even the solicitations from the future, I'm not seeing anything that's really tickling my fancy here. So we'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
this said this is 3 of 4, so the next issue might be the end of this particular arc. You know what? I wasn't really too sure about this storyline going into it, but I had a lot of fun with this issue. I thought this was actually a lot of fun. I liked it. I liked a lot of the jokes being made. I liked a lot of the action. Bruno Redondo, I think, did a great job on the art as always. Yeah, I dug this. I don't know what it was. I just really thought it was a lot of fun, and I was surprised because I again wasn't too sure about this storyline. But yeah, I like this whole what happened here. Like even the way it ended, it is some swashbuckling adventure going on here, right? And I like the idea of a weird place that Bruce and him don't know about that exists. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's apparently somehow they've kept this world under wraps, which is it's just funny. I like the scene. He's like walking around. He's like, oh, is that a Starbucks over there? It wasn't Starbucks, but it was just like it was
No,
like
yeah,
some
it was. I forget what the name was, but it was
yeah,
basically
yeah.
Starbucks. It was like Sun
But
Dollars or something.
right? And then he's just like, that's got thousands of fucking stores, the franchise. Like, what is one doing here? He's like, yeah, that's right. Like, we keep it under wraps. Or I just
Yeah.
think it was funny. It's so ridiculous that it kind of works for me. I'm just like, this is so weird. But I don't know. I dug it. I was going in with low expectations on this storyline. I was like, I don't know about this, but I dug it. Good stuff. What'd you give this?
I'll still give it a 3.75. They're not bad stories. It's just not my cup of tea.
I gave it a 4. Yeah, I liked it this week. It was a good one. Next up, Universal Monsters Dracula #2. Where is this one here? Yeah, I got my issue here. Yeah, not too much to mention in this. It's a Dracula story. that's all I got to say about this one. The art's really impressive.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, really like painted style. Definitely, fits the mood of this storyline and the look and like very classic Dracula type shit going on here. And it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, I'm just not as interested in this because like, when you hear they got the license to do these things, I thought maybe there was going to be some sort of reimagining or new stories being told. Where I feel like this is just like any other fucking older Dracula story that I've encountered in any type of media, honestly. So I will stick by the fact that I think the highlight here is the art. James Tynion, great writer, like a lot of the other things he's doing right now, but like this is just like he can't really. It's hard for him to come through in this story because again, you got it's a Dracula story. So you're kind of like, you know what I mean? You have to fucking play the hits, you gotta do
Yeah.
certain stuff. I feel like if you're going to be writing a Dracula story and there's not like, you're not going to get the deviant James Tynion, like the issue that we talked about last week, which is a totally original type of new story idea in this story, right? You're going to get him fucking trying to do his best Dracula. Right. So it's fine. Nothing wrong with it. I give it a 3.5. I'll give it that based on the art. And yeah, if you are a big Dracula fan, though, I'm sure you'd be happy with this. Not that I'm not, but I just like, yeah, I'm just not for me. Wolverine 39. Chris, man, you got to go back and read this issue. Great stuff this week, man.
Oh
Juan
yeah.
Jose, Juan Jose Rip fucking drew this and Immortal X-Men this week. I don't know what the hell happened there, but like this, I love his art. And this just continues the fucking Wolverine teaming up tour he's been doing. Every issue, he teams up with a new character. This one, he teams up with Black Panther. He goes to Wakanda. He's involved with, there's an Orchis person that's trying to work with Wakanda to get their precious metals, of course, like they have with the vibranium. And they go there and they're trying to like work out like a peace deal, a treaty type shit with them, like, or some sort of a like agreement to work with them, and they allow them to like set up shop there, Orchis. And basically the Wakandan woman on the council here is like, get the fuck out of here. We don't want to do business with Orchis, right? She told them where to go. And then after she left the meeting, like a man walks up to her and she's like, oh, not everybody here is against you working here. Like, maybe we should talk. And so then they go to meet in like a seedy bar to like talk about it. Like it kind of reminded me of like Mos Eisley Cantina from Star Wars. Like, and of course, Wolverine shows up at the bar, like kind of investigating stuff, and he's trying to sniff out what's happening here. He sees all these weird characters sitting at these tables, right? And while this conversation's going on, this Wakandan guy who was like wants to do business with her. He's like, oh well, we can't give you vibranium, but we can give you. And he mentions like all these other rare metals and stuff like that, which I'm sure you can still use for your weapons. And she's like, I'm not here to talk this shit. Like, I want the vibranium. And she busts out a gun, and Buddy takes the gun and like bites the shit out of the gun and like destroys it. And she's like, and like you could tell like whatever his teeth are made out of is like this other strong metals that he's referring to. I don't know. So like, so then the woman, he's like, I'm pretty sure we can still do business after this. And anyways, like Black Panther and then Wolverine track these people down in the middle of them doing their deal and like elsewhere. And like, I guess they already got stuff like starting the production of this factory or whatever. And they basically foil their plans. And Black Panther holds Wolverine back from basically killing the shit out of the Orchis lady because of everything going on with Orchis right now. Like, he almost kills her. He kills, I mean, there's other people I think that are killed in this, but then when he goes to fucking finally kill the Orchis lady here, and he's like, I have friends dead because of you, Black Panther's like, no, Wolverine. Like, and basically, apparently Black Panther is like he's not, you think he's dead right now, so he's like he's like
he's gotta be like in stealth mode, like he's more of a mystery now, not so much.
Yeah, because even when the woman went there, she thought she could do business with them, knowing that Black Panther's dead now and that he won't stop them from doing business with them, right? So and yeah, they're on motorcycles in one scene. I don't know, man. I dug this. I really like this kind of team up tour, these issues, these one and done stories with Wolverine, Juan Jose Rip on art. And next issue is him and Spidey, man. So you gotta check that one out.
Yeah,
That's
back for sure.
Yeah, so good stuff. And yeah, good issue. And I gave this you know what, after talking about it, I think I'll give it a 4.25. I actually really enjoyed this. I was gonna give it a 4. But strong issue this week. Yeah, it wasn't, a spectacular week of comics, but there's a few highlights for sure. All right, Chris, Immortal X-Men number 17, also drawn by, like I said, Juan Jose Rip of Wolverine.
Yeah, this delivers on the art for sure. But the story, I don't know what's going on in here. Like
Thank you. Okay, I was very confused. I'm like,
this White Room stuff. I have no idea what's happening in this White Room. And I guess the other storyline is that whenever Professor X went to sleep, Sinister was taking over. Is that what you got out of this?
No, I didn't even get that. Sinister is inside of him. No, you're probably right. I just, like I said, I was confused as to what's going on.
I'm thinking, like in the previous issues, I'd have to go look at him. But whenever someone attacked the island, and Professor X went freaking apeshit on him. It might have been at night, and that's when Sinister was controlling him. For whatever reason, Sinister still wants to protect the island or whatever. That's the feeling I got from this. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
No, that sounds right. I mean, that sounds good. Yeah, I know he was talking with him in this issue, and then they made it clear that he was inside of him now during this whole time, which I don't think was revealed prior to this, at least not in anything I've been reading.
No, I think in like the
And
last issue when he looked in the mirror, you could see there's still the diamond on his forehead.
yes, that's right. I feel like it's been a while since the last issue of this series. I don't know, like was it like 2 months or something? Like, because honestly, it feels like
I know
a
what's
while.
going on with this series. Like, I don't see it in solicitations down the road, so this might be coming to an end, or
I think
maybe
it
it's
is.
just, or it's
No, I
going
think it
on
is.
pause when the Power of X and House of X comes in, which I don't mind.
Yeah, because Kieran Gillen, I think those series that he's writing, because there's 2 of them, with I'm Fall of X and whatever what I mean. You know how they're separating them in 2 series. Jerry Duggan's writing one, and Kieran Gillen, who's writing this, is writing the other. So I think you're right. It's either going to wrap up with issue 18, or they're just going to put it on pause, like they did with Sins of Sinister.
Yeah.
And then it turned into Immoral X-Men for 3 months. Remember that? And then they came back. Right. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, but.
I
Yeah,
still
I
like
don't know.
seeing that the Sinister there is still trying to prevent the Dominion, which that's his goal, I guess. And he doesn't
Yes.
really care what's going on in the world. But that stuff that's going on in the White Room, I don't even know what the White Room is. That Jean Grey stuff, and I don't know, Hope and whatever's happening there. I don't know if she's alive or she's dead or what's going on, but I guess we'll see how that plays out. But that was all over my head.
This thing at the end was pretty fucking crazy too. This thing just came up out of the water and he like went inside of it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. Yeah, and then she's dragging her around like a dog in the fucking desert. Like I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that reminds me of freaking like Michonne from Walking Dead. There, he just got the zombie on a chain.
Yeah.
I know. Hopefully, there's some payoff to that because it's some crazy stuff. But I'm still down for it.
What'd you give this?
I'll give it a 3.75.
Whoa, still strong. No, I gotta go 3.5 on this one.
I was gonna give it a 3.5, but that stuff with Sinister and Professor X, I'm digging that stuff.
All right, next up, one of our favorite books this past year, Invincible Iron Man, number 12.
Let's see, I got this here somewhere. Here we are. Yeah, so I just got the cover. That's still good stuff here. But this stuff with they had She-Hulk in there trying to, wasn't she defending somebody or defending what's his name, Rhodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that stuff's not working out, and I guess Rhodes, he got his little medallion there at the end. But this stuff, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. I think there's more of an issue that's breathing again. Nothing crazy happened, and it wasn't my favorite issue of the last few, that's for sure. But still down for freaking Tony Stark and Emma Frost there.
Yeah, same. Man, this artist, some crazy side boob action going on with Emma in these fucking panels. Like the proportions that are all off, I feel like, during this issue. There's a lot of, I'm not gonna lie, like it caught my eye more than once. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? But yeah, no, that's my only comment about this issue.
But I feel I might have been taken away from this story. Like is this a different artist or something?
I think so, because it wasn't consistent, and that's why I'm kind of pointing that out. Like I had, like the art, I feel like was not consistent throughout the issue. Like in some parts it looked okay, and then other times you got some panels, you're like, whoa, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, it was more of a pretty much classy late the whole time, and here she's coming to like full cheesecake.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It was more me commenting on that than anything. I was just like, whoa, but it was very apparent. I'm like, and these are scenes that she's talking to fucking what's her name? Riri Williams here, the other Iron Man, Ironheart, right? Who shows up in this.
Some little astral battle or something like that.
Yeah. So I just feel like it seemed out of place for her to dress like that all of a sudden. Like, but it is Emma Frost. I don't know.
Anyways, Williams using like those Mandarin rings or something in here.
Yeah, so he repurposed the Mandarin rings, or sorry, I think it was her because she also
has them.
She repurposed them. Remember, they had touched on this before, and
Yeah, I mean, like previous, I guess in the previous series.
yeah, and then Iron Man was like, "I don't trust you with these rings." Yeah, you're right. It was it was in Cantwell's run. It wasn't the Duggan run. It was the one before
Yeah,
this. Yeah, and they had a fucking big back and forth about it. And by the end of it, he's like, "Okay, I'll allow you to take them," but like he wasn't happy about it. You remember
yeah.
that? Yeah. So like because he thinks that this power is gonna take her over, like it's gonna turn out bad, right? So I don't know. We'll see. But she's wielding them here. So
That's okay stuff. Yeah, I guess he's got the Iron Man costume in that medallion. That's what I imagine.
yeah, it wasn't my favorite issue either, but I think it's, you're allowed
That's
to
still
have
good.
one that's just, yeah, it's still good. Yeah, this has been, I think, exceeding our expectations lately. Whereas this issue was just like, yeah, a decent issue, solid issue. What'd you give this?
I'll give it a 3.75, but I think this Orcus line might be just running a little stale. You got to get to the meat of the story soon. I guess you're just waiting now till the Powers of X and House of X, or
Yeah.
whatever the Rise of X.
My only concern now is where does this series go once that happens, though, because it's been so involved in the X-Men side of things,
Yep.
the Iron Man stuff. I'm concerned about that because I think it's been like, it's been so good, but I think it also helps the fact that he's been kind of writing this side by side with his X-Men stuff, as we said this
Yeah.
whole time. Once they bring it home and they end that era of the fucking Krakoa stuff or whatever is going to happen at the end of these miniseries, where does that leave Iron Man? Like, is it going to go back to being more of an Iron Man book, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it kind of started off that way, if you remember, with that whole
Yeah.
him
That's my
journaling and
girlfriend.
all that shit. Yeah. And then, and then they even had those flashback issues where it showed him like West Coast era and stuff like that, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, like what
But
happened to Hellcat? Wasn't he almost like married to Hellcat a while ago? Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah. So, but yeah, 3.75 for me too. Uncanny Spider-Man #4.
I've just been reading this online as well. That's been a surprisingly
Yeah.
decent run. If I saw these out there cheap, I'd buy them. But
Same.
whatever throwing Spider-Man on the cover, that's for no reason. Spider-Man nothing to do with the story. Like shows up for a few panels in the beginning and goes, just disappears. But anyways, that's nothing that's bringing this story together. This story is about Silver Sable and I guess Kurt Wagner, whatever he is. And what's with that stupid ghost on his shoulder? I don't know what that's all about either, though. But it's
No.
fun to have. It seems like his conscience is floating around, and it seems like Silver Sable is about to friggin' turn the tides on him or sells him out at the end. Just for her honor, because whatever her country seems to thrive on her finishing the contract. So it's okay stuff.
Yeah, I might have to pick up the trade of this because I've been reading it online too, and I've actually quite enjoyed this. Or if I see the issues, like you said, because yeah, this has been pretty good. It's been unexpected. I think the art's been great. I like seeing Nightcrawler outside doing something outside of the X-Men, it seems like, for once, even though there's X-Men
Yep.
stuff going on. It's kind of like him doing his own thing. I like the relationship that kind of seemed to be building up between him and Silver Sable, but of course that's doomed. And I thought it was like a really trifling ass move on her part here to what she did here at the end. I was just like, I get it. I get where she's coming from, but he went there thinking like this was the meetup that they were supposed to have, where
Yeah.
she was ending things already at this point, but she said, I still want to see you when this is all kind of over. And he goes there to meet with her and he ends up getting tasered and shit and taken out here at the end. Right. So I don't know. I think there's only one more issue to go, but as a little side story, as with everything going on and it kind of launching around the same time, all these miniseries launch during this era, like with a few months back with Alpha Flight and fucking the Dead,
Yeah.
the Dark X-Men and Uncanny Avengers. This is actually possibly the best one, maybe with Uncanny Avengers out of all of those. So like,
Yeah.
it's a big surprise. It was a big surprise, and I remember when we first heard about this, we're like, what the fuck is this? And then this actually turned out to be kind of fun, right? So it's
Was
good.
there not a scene there where Spider-Man gets scanned by a Sentinel and gets deemed to be a mutant?
Yes.
Who knows? That could play into something later on. Who knows?
Well, they commented on it saying the machines are just doing that now to anybody. Like they did comment on it. Like, so they weren't actually, I think, leaning into the fact that he might be a
No,
mutant,
not
but
that
yeah,
he's a mutant, but now that he's been deemed a
right.
mutant by the Sentinels, they might be after him.
Yes. Yeah. What'd you give this?
I'll give it a 3.75.
Same. Yeah, good stuff. And then lastly, Amazing Spider-Man number 38. Fucking Repo.
Yeah, let's get repo.
All right, what'd you
Man,
think?
why are they freaking wasting McGinnis on this freaking story? Come on. Could they not get him doing something better? Like, this thing's got a bit of this wreck rap stuff. Okay, it was fun. He was a fun character, a breath of fresh air, but enough already with him. Like, I kind of feel like getting a bit of a Deadpool vibe from when he's talking about his story. It's all like they're all great panels, there's good stuff going on, but I don't know. And then this gang strike, I'm not really looking forward to that either, or this gang war or whatever. They better have some plans for it that are gonna freaking, blow my socks off. Because
Yeah.
I'm not too hyped about the future Spider-Man.
I agree with every fucking thing you just said. Yeah, I'm concerned. I thought this storyline was underwhelming and a waste of Ed McGuinness. Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. I thought this, like, who cares? Oh, it's this guy that was like the bill collector guy. I'm like, really? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck cares? I was like, this panel thing at the end, at the bottom, was so stupid looking. Where they had, do you remember they made it try to look exactly like him, and he got the fucking like John Romita style, like horrible human being look. Like,
Brutal.
I just like, oh my god. Well, yeah, now you can tell it looks like this fucking guy when you put it side by side. I'm like, who cares and who's gonna know that? I'm just like, ooh, what a reveal.
Some white blank face, and you made him look like freaking this person could look like anybody. And whatever, they made that stupid demon eat its own head. Come on. Like, I did like the stuff with Madeline Pryor. That's all kind of fun stuff, but
sure,
it's not for Spider-Man, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, and it looks like Robbie's marriage is already over to the Beetle, right? So that's already done with. And yeah, we're going right into the gang war. I do like the whole thing with Silvermane and fucking Nefaria. What's his name? Lord Nefaria. Like the vampire guy. All that shit. Count Nefaria. That's his name.
Yeah. They both get taken out, though, don't they?
Yeah, but I do like these not so well known like villains. Like I do like when you see some of these guys show up. Like for me, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. It's been a while since I've seen fucking Silvermane. You know what I mean? Like, so I was like, I was kind of happy about that. Like if it's more of that kind of thing with this gang war, and like it's like all of like the like D level like rogues coming out of the woodworks, it could be fun. I don't know, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm worried though. I'm worried. I am concerned about this new storyline. I don't know what to think. And your boy Ramita's coming back to draw that too. I know you're not a fan. Anyways, what'd you give this?
Sorry, man. 3.5.
Same. Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the books that we read this week, guys. But Chris wanted to quickly show off a comic book haul from I guess you hit up a sale, a Black Friday sale this week, right, Chris?
Yeah. Gotham Comic Central there. I don't know if you can shut them out. I'll shout out to my West Coast Comics or West End Comics that I go to all the time. But it's a bit of a Sean Murphy haul here. I don't know if you've been reading Plot Holes.
Yep.
Wow, there's Gundam cover there.
So the only reason I haven't been talking about it on the show is I bought the hardcover that he self-published from him at the con this summer, but I've been buying the issues, but just not rereading them because I've already read it. But I've been buying the issues. I just haven't been showing it off on the show. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff though.
Yeah. I haven't even looked in this comic yet. So, but I just got Gundam on there as a nice cover. And then I did see the Batman White Knight, the Harley Quinn. I don't know how many are in there, but I got all 8. I got 6 of them, I think.
That's the whole series. That's good stuff, Chris. That's my favorite mini. That's my favorite miniseries. That's my favorite miniseries that they've done.
3.
Yeah.
4. I remember you telling me there was good stuff, so I figured they had all 6 there, so I bought them all.
Yeah.
And, they had the $8 cover price, and they were 50% off, so $4 each. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was a Catwoman art germ cover. Saw that there.
Ooh, nice.
Get that back up there if you want to
Yeah,
closer
yeah,
look.
yeah.
Nice cover. And they have I saw Lady Death there, so I have to see what she was up to.
That's a pretty sick cover. Who drew that? Is that an art germ? What is that?
No, it's whoever the artist is for this. Because
Okay.
this Lady Death has been around for a while, and the
Yeah.
good thing about this comic as well is the art inside doesn't disappoint either.
Oh, good to know.
It's not like those Red Sonias there or something like that where you're freaking got a cover like that and it's like stick figures inside.
Right. No, that looks good. They cover, I mean, if it's
Is
same
it
type of
Diego
thing. Yeah.
Bernard or something like that?
Okay.
That's good
Looks
stuff.
good.
Yeah, like I've read a few Lady Deaths here and there. And
Yeah.
if I ever see, like I don't think this was the back issue, it just might have been one of the issues coming out. Whenever I see it around, it's almost like a Spawn, but just a bit cheesecake gear.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. No, that looks really good, man. That's and I you're gonna have to let me know how you like that Harley series because it's good stuff. I really
Yeah,
I
I'm
really
looking forward
enjoyed
to
that one.
reading that.
Yeah, he's got Matteo Scalera drew it, but he's a really good artist. So like, yeah, like he
Yeah.
brought a good artist on board for that. Like Sean Murphy did those. You might have his covers on those. He didn't illustrate that one, but it's the strongest of the mini series that he did outside of the Batman White Knight stuff, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, nice, good stuff, man. Nice haul. All right, what are you looking forward to reading next week, Chris?
It's a small week. You got it written down here. Hold on 1 second.
Same. Yeah, small week for me as well.
I got Predator versus Wolverine 3. I did get the Amazing Spider-Man, the First Strike. Thanks, I should have. Harley Quinn 34, Power Girl 3. I think that's all I'm buying. And as for what I read, I'll see what else is out there online. There's probably a few issues of something that I'm missing.
Yeah. Yeah, my list is similar to yours. Small week for me if things I'm picking up as well. Yeah, Harley Quinn 34, Amazing Spider-Man Gang War for Strike number 1, Captain America 3, Kea 13, and Predator versus Wolverine 3. And let me just see.
Is that Kea good stuff or what? Because I think they
I
got like
like it.
the first and second issue there for on my local comic shop there. They got them sitting in the pull bins. They're not too expensive. I don't know if that's worth something picking up.
I like it. I think I like it, Chris. I think it's worth checking out. Honestly, it is pretty fun stuff. I do dig it. But it's like a good like adventure comic type of thing. Like it's basically like yeah. But what else here? Anything else online next week I'm reading here because that's all I'm picking up. I'm just trying to look over the list quickly here. I think there might be a couple other things, but otherwise small week. I'm still not reading Action. That's not Jason Aaron's not starting that as of yet. Looking at DC, not much here. Penguin number 4. Sorry, I'm picking that up. Maybe Beast World I might read online. The Titans Beast World that does start next week. It looks like number 1.
That. It's a slow week.
Yeah, if it's a small week like this, yeah, I have no problem checking that out. And then Image, anything coming out from Image here?
I don't think so.
Does not look like it. Oh, Firepower 29. 2 more issues left of that. So that I'm gonna check that out. Local Man 7 as well next week. So yeah, definitely
I'll probably read that online.
Yeah, check that out. Oh, and yeah, and actually there's a couple of images there. And then Schlub number 4 comes out next week. So may check that out too. And then in terms of Marvel, looks like they're doing a new Howard the Duck next week. I mean, I don't. Oh, Marvel Zombies, Black, White, and Blood. Maybe I'll check that out. That comes out next week. That's about it, though. I mean, the wrap up of Ms. Marvel and the New Mutant. That's the last issue of that series.
Yeah.
A new Spider Woman comes out next week. I don't think I'm checking that out, but that's cool.
I may have that. Well, they got a few covers coming in the future of hers.
Yeah, and that's about it, though. Yeah, so smaller week. This is a big week this week, so smaller week. Although big week, but not a lot of standouts for me this week. But anyways, speaking of standouts,
what was week? Not a great Marvel week.
I agree. Speaking of standouts, though, Chris, what was your favorite book of the week this week? I think I have a good idea personally.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to tease anything else. But come on. It was Wonder Woman. This is like my favorite comic in a long time.
Yeah, I know you have I think you may have given it your favorite week every issue. Actually, it's come out.
Really?
You definitely have done it one other time at this point. You and I've not given it my favorite of the week any weeks yet because there's always something that comes out the same week
Yeah.
where I'm like, as good as this is, I got to give it to this other book, and it's the same thing fucking this week. So I hate to say it once again, but it is a good fucking book. Just something always kind of just edges
Yeah.
it out for me. Like it's always second in line every week. It's come out for me for favorite of the week. But this week I got to go Batman, Superman, World's Finest this week. And I think if you had to pick a next one, it would have been this too,
Yeah.
honestly.
I
I
was
feel
gonna
like,
go
yeah.
which one would it be, but friggin' I sold this
So,
right off the bat. And
so
this
there
has
you
been the
go.
best issue of Wonder Woman of the three, for me at least.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. No, I don't know if it's my favorite so far. I think that debut issue is probably still the strongest, but they've all been fucking really good, man. So
This one,
I
this
just,
was
I
no Wonder Woman. None of this half her old story where she's fighting. Oh, not today. No, thank you. She's just there freaking taking care of business.
yeah, true. That is true. The first issue, you didn't see her for 3/4 of it. That is very true. And she didn't really get her moment. This was her moment, her first like big
Yeah.
moment in the series. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. That's what I mean. Like, I don't want to like you said, strong DC week. I don't want to not give it short shrift there because like this is, even though it's been edged out, the weeks has come out for me at least, but this is still one of the most consistently really great superhero books coming out on the stands right now is Wonder Woman. So, but yeah, Batman, Superman, it just got me going this week. Like when I read that, I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, good stuff in that one. So yeah, good things this week. A few things anyways. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for this week. We will see you guys next week as always. And make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And thank you to Chris as always. Later, guys.
All right, later.